was going to talk about hunger, but now on PBS did an excellent show Friday, so I'd direct you over there. Now this particular rant I owe to a subscriber who is fast becoming a friend and a detractor whom I had hoped to enlighten as to where my views come from. Because although he or she bases her position on Republican talking points, at least they're asking the right questions. So we got a load of crock in a general betrayal to the concept of constitutional law. The leading diplomat and general in Iraq seemed unaware of executive limitations as defined by the Constitution. They both replied when asked to define their mission or goal that it was not in their area of consideration or ability to comment on. What they both said basically boiled down to, we are there to be there. And as long as we are there, we need to remain there because we are there. And their testimony to both chambers of Congress were perfect examples of circular logic. Since the true goal of our government appears to me that having already drained the treasury of our nation, it is to fill the coffers of military contractors with the future earnings of our children, grandchildren, and their progeny. Then their attitude that we have to remain in Iraq is understandable, as is the fact that as they proffered their testimony for the continuation of the quagmire in Iraq, they were actively laying the groundwork for the next, even more colossal catastrophe, a war with Iran, by laying all blame for our screw-up in Iraq on Iran without a smidgen of proof or any evidence, and against all logical examination of the facts. Of course, that's par for the course with this administration, their congressional enablers, and of course the corporate cronies. They've yet to let a single fact get in the way of their dreams of empire and global domination, and their desire to acquire every possible penny of profit along the way. They truly believe in their God-given right to accumulate power and money, while placing all of the burdens and costs on the shoulders and back of the 99.99% of us who are not among those privileged few. We have become the fatted calves being led to the slaughter in exchange for a few trinkets here and there that have placated and sedated the largest part of our population. Even the loudest voices, like Edwards, Obama, Clinton, and Gore, contribute and participate with and within the system, rotten to the core, that is hell-bent intent on killing us all. The few who in total belief and action have called on us to take heed for as long as I've been alive and longer are ridiculed and silenced. I'm at a loss as to how at least half of my fellow citizens still believe we have a media with a liberal bias. Over 90% of our media is owned by 5 international corporations with large interest in the military-industrial complex. You want an example of how liberal our media is? Less than a third of my fellow citizens can accurately estimate the number of military fatalities in Iraq. If we did have a liberal media, those numbers would be shouted out on a daily, if not hourly basis. That's what a liberal media would do. Speaking of liberals, Franklin, Jefferson, Madison, all were proud liberals and declared themselves honored to be children of the Enlightenment, the original liberals. I'm sure if they were living today, they would be roaming throughout Washington, D.C. with buckets of tar and bags of feathers to mark all the traitors and usurpers of liberty and the Constitution who hold power in this travesty of a country where freedom once was our national goal. If you fancy yourself to be in any way related to the principles of our founding fathers, then join me at that link on my left. It is time to reclaim our nation and to create a country that we can have pride in once again. No more torture, secret prisons, and kangaroo courts. We have to wrest control from the criminal cartels that have captured our White House and Congress. But for now, into the circle 5.